Hmm. Thank you. Thanks for coming. I'm going to attempt to read, which involves brain activity, speak, and stay sitting in the chair. This is an attempt. I thought maybe I would have a reader come up, and I thought, it's just getting more and more like church all the time. If the reader comes up and is like, and now the word of God, and then then the sermon ensues, It could happen one of these days. Be alert, because I may call you up. I suggest that if the shaking distracts from the reading, just close your eyes. Some of us are wired very, border collie. If you've ever been on a cattle drive, you know what I'm talking about. Some of us have been on cattle drives in this room. This is from Byron Katie, A Mind at Home with Itself. I don't know how this book came into being in my presence, because I don't remember, maybe somebody gave it to me. It's so confirmational. Would have been glad and very happy to have it now. Would have been a treasure 20 years ago too. Would have been a real helpful roadmap. But it's Byron Katie's commentary on the Diamond Sutra. The Diamond Sutra is a Buddhist scripture. I think it's mostly Zen, but I don't quote me. It's been handed down in Buddhism for eons, let's say. The Diamond Sutra. And this is Byron Katie's commentary on it. When you attach to any identity, you suffer. Only the unidentified mind is free. If the Buddha thinks he's a Buddha, he's not. The very thing that makes him a Buddha is that he has no concept of Buddhas and non-Buddhas. For him, there's no separation. All being is enlightened, though it may not be aware of it yet. The Buddha mind is free of identity. It is love's expansion. The mind awake to itself, questioning itself, responding as itself, out of itself and its own pure intelligence, dancing with itself, traveling through its own unlimited continuum, with no trace of existence, experience, no evidence that it has ever traveled at all. It flows freely, effortlessly, without interruption, without opposites, without position, and there's no identity. There's no identity that is enticing enough to interrupt its flow. Incredible sentence. And even if the flow is momentarily interrupted, awareness immediately realizes the identification and dissipates it, leaving only the whisper of a thank you as it goes on in its continual, joyous creation. The whole world is a reflection of mind, and the mind must eventually come back to itself, because everything that flows out of it is less potent than original love. Just as the streams flow back to the sea, the mind flows back to its conceptless source. No matter how brilliant the mind is, no matter how large the ego that clings to its identity, when it realizes that it knows nothing, it returns to the beginningless beginning in all humility and meets itself as original love prior to any existence. It is love's expansion through its own unlimited continuum as joyous creation. Only the unidentified mind is free. If the flow is momentarily interrupted, awareness immediately realizes the identification, responsive immediacy, responsive immediacy, responsive immediacy, and dissipates it. Naturally, see? Naturally. Not methodically, not categorically, not analytically, naturally. Leaving only the whisper of a thank you as it goes on its continual, joyous creation. Somebody asked Byron Katie one time, so, what do you do with your free time? And she said, I question thoughts. What else? I mean, she was like, duh. I mean, you know? It's a matter of identification. I used to say I had one thing to say. It's a matter of identification. All things may come, all things may go. It's true. The life begins and to reflect, as she was saying, it all comes back. It all comes back to original love. It begins to harmonize, certainly, of its own accord. But the collective reality that we're living in very much still includes old age, sickness, death, and all the rest. Needlessly, I'm going to be bold. Needlessly. There was a master that walked the earth. Call him by whatever name you'd like. I like the name Yeshua. Where old age, sickness, and death did not apply because it wasn't a reality. It's okay. We live in at the last retreat I read Ajah's description of the false self from The Way of Liberation. If you've ever encountered it, not just within your own personal experience, but collectively, the psyche is vast. The false self, the false identification. So, Byron Katie's still going to be questioning thoughts, doing worksheets. But her question, who would I be without that thought? Who would I be? What is I without a thought? What is I without a thought? I love that excerpt because if it gets pulled off course, which it will, as Ani says, none of us are walking on water yet. It's going to get pulled off course. The identification is key. It's what I was trying to say last night. Maybe not so well, but how one is as the moment, how one is identified is the key. It's key. It's the key. And it is so habituated, conditioned, and rapidly deciding about everything and then positioning itself to feel safe that it sometimes feels rare and almost miraculous, like we get stood still in a moment of clarity. We get stood still in the truth of that, standing still without concepts when it breaks through. But even in deep realization and in our noble hearts and our devoted togetherness, it can spin new positions in a nanosecond. In a nanosecond. I mean, what I'm really seeing a lot of now is the spiritualized victim. You know? My teachers, non-dualism itself did this to me. I've heard it. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I no longer need to see reality that way. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. The spiritualized, I think it's a pendulum swing in reaction to bypassing. You know, like we can't bypass anything because that's spiritual bypassing, and we positioned ourselves there. And then so it's got to swing over here and be like, you know, I'm victimized by this, and we don't say victimized. That's not spiritual. But we position ourselves in a place of disempowerment through historical referencing, which is not joyously creating through an unlimited continuum. That's okay. We're very accustomed to it. You know, this character, Jesus, Yeshua, didn't say, "Oh, you're blind. That's really awful. I'm so sorry." He said, "What's wrong with you? Get up, pick up your bed and walk." It's fierce. I'll be really honest, really sincere, because I'm safe and I love you guys. It's a little challenging to be as fierce as it is, because you think you might not have any friends. It's fierce. It's not the way we have grown accustomed, because we've made many, many, many many ideas and identities out of fixing, 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 fixing. I recognize that in you, and I resonate with it, and we're healing it and fixing it, and it's a beautiful phase. It has its place. Please hear me. Please hear me. But I would like to speak about truth here, which is, it's truly a mind fuck. It just is. Disempowerment doesn't lead to power. It leads to cycles and cycles and eons and eons and eons and eons of time stuck in the identification of good and bad, light and shadow, right and wrong. I mean, it's challenging. This false evidence appearing real. That's what Byron Katie calls it, fear. False evidence appearing real. You know, I mean, I cannot tell you how many times the thought stream, that particular radio station, it's not believable, thank God, anymore. Thank God. But is it still there? Hell yes. This brain is a nursing brain. How many times it's wanted to pathologize this tremor? I can't tell you. It's constantly wanting to pathologize it and fix it. Thank God it's getting less and less and less believable on many fronts, but that's a real personal example that maybe you can relate to. And in this moment, joyous creation dances through its unlimited continuum. And there's that radio station as well. So what are you going to choose? What has the power? Where is the power? Not the ego's power of power over something, power in relationship to another something, more power, my power. No, 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 no. We're not going there. It's unidentified. The Buddha there's no Buddha to know a Buddha or a non-Buddha. This is very critical and key for our egos to understand and to keep front and center on an altar. As the Prajnaparamita says, the mind of a Buddha is not threatened in any way by the complete absence of any one or thing called a Buddha. It doesn't happen that way. It's a transparency, a radiant transparency, a disbelieving, responsive immediacy. And it takes everything that the ego thinks it has. It takes it all. Does that mean this expression, Jennifer Tylerness sitting in front of you, I have nothing left? No. It doesn't work. It sounds that way. I can hear it when I'm saying it. And I immediately want to follow it with like, listen, I have grandkids, I do this, we go get cones at the drive-in. Jackson spills his on the ground every time, but he's a big kid and he doesn't want a dish. He wants a cone. Is it identified? Mostly no. It's not like that. And in that is the liberation. The liberation. It's all those things that just start sounding like, spiritual bumper stickers, causeless joy, causeless love, and the heart of it is no longer subject to opening and closing, contracting, shutting down, stepping back. That's not a thing. It has a capacity that a human heart could never. We can't do that. Wait a minute. I want to say something different there. See the conditioning? See it? Original blueprint of humanity. Not the false self doesn't have the capacity. The human heart, in its originality of unself-conscious, continuous, infinite, eternal, joyous creation, yes, it has capacity. That's the divine humanity. That's the dharma of humanity. Not this other thing we've had going on for, I don't know. I war with you and you war with me, and then we war with the actual wars that are out there, because those wars we didn't start. I mean, it just positioning. That, the heart of that is scared. But the heart, the heart itself, the heart of humanity, let's go ahead and say the divine human. Egoless, Buddha-less, empty compassion is an organ of spiritual perception, an organ of empty compassion. So yeah, there may be phases that it's completely flavorless, kind of a flat line when it's emptying and disidentifying and disbelieving more and more and more and more and more and more and more. But the heart of it is, it's just almost indescribable. Well, because you can go there any given God-given holy instant. And if it's still the open, closed, contracted, compensated, contracting, compensating, opening, closing, protecting, then that's the misidentification sitting on top of the actuality. That's the false evidence appearing real. That's the idea that we need to protect ourselves from our own nature, which is love, unqualified. Ever. We're not going to like grab water and extract its wetness and say, well, now water will not be wet. That's how it is with us and love. It's not a thing. You can't take the nature of something and extract it. It can be made unconscious. I think we've used the example sometimes of how there was a moment in time where somebody invented electricity, as if electricity didn't exist until it became conscious. This is the same thing. It is present, as is now. It's more or less available and conscious as we are unfolded, as we are bloomed, as we are lived, as we are emptied. So it's a matter of identification. In the heart of it, the heart and the heat of the ferocious now, that razor's edge, that free fall, if one can remember, return, whatever word works best for you, tune the dial to the deepest understanding of one's own, it's different for everyone, one's own ground. Tune in, go there in that moment. The habit will be to grab something, get a position. So it'll be like a unadorned, unmediated. It's not mediated. Reality won't be mediated anymore, and that is fierce. That is fierce. It's fierce when reality is not mediated by our concepts. It's just the raw sensation, the raw energy of whatever is dissipating, as she says, naturally dissipating, naturally returning, naturally harmonizing. Sorrow, woundology, victimhood, historical clinging. Boy, you see some things that are mind-shattering in yourself, where you're at war, where you refuse to let go, where you're deeply identified. The way that the ripple has moved, you see it. But in this unfathomable, shining kindness, like Byron Katie always says, the universe is benevolent, kind, beyond anything we are conceiving of here. It's just giving way. It has no other course of action. Withholding is not in its nature. Tune, reset, reorient the compass, the dial, however you want to think about it, the reins. If you're a horseback person, reorient. Remember it, sense it. I am that I am. A very overlooked reality. Orient there. It's not in denial of the tsunami of historical pain and what comes naturally from identification. It's not in denial of any of that. It's just choosing the correct tool out of the tool bag so that you're not trying to pound a screw. Reorient. I am that I am. Of this you can be sure and certain. Can you deny that? This sets up a rewiring that has greater capacity than our false self-wiring. It sets it up. It begins to reharmonize, if you want to call it that, rewire itself. And then, oh man, the glorious, receptive capacity, availability, empty, fullness, receiving. The like you got a better antenna for your radio. You can, and then somehow, against all odds on the reasonability level, everything works out. I'm not saying it's not sometimes. I mean, I'm not trying to victimize this experience. Believe me, I'm not. But the reality of it, I like to be very clear that it, sometimes, and it doesn't have to be for you, please. If yours is a cakewalk, hallelujah. But, I mean, here it was like trigeminal nerve neuralgia and, incapacitated senses, and a lot of rewiring very fiercely and fastly, and whoa. I don't think it has to be that way anymore. I think we're coming into our true nature. Eyes wide open, hands wide open, hearts wide open, together. But there are periods of time where the surrender is non-negotiable and fierce. There are phases. So what do? Reorient. Remember, I am that I am. Or however it works for you. I'm sorry is what comes to mind most often here, because there's a knowing here, not an intellectual one, but an immediate one from itself to itself of like, oh, from the dreamer to the dream. Oh, so sorry. I didn't change the channel sooner. But I'm here now. And I no longer need to see reality this way. So whatever comes to you, but anchor into that which is beyond any identification, beyond, gate. Not in an escape from our humanity, but as an avenue for the greater good, the awareness that is love's expansion. An avenue. You hear the difference? I'm not advocating bypassing or not being human. I'm encouraging and inviting us to bring this humanity that we're walking around as into reality. And then it's a dissipating, dissolution, dissolving as what was always real, always, infinite, eternal, ever, isnness, dances with itself, responds as itself, moves as itself. And no identity is, what did she say? It's just so perfect. It's not attractive enough to pull you off. Oh, I lost my marker. Well, something like that. It just, if it pulls you off, it's the word that fits for me and came before I read Byron Katie was irrelevant. The identities feel really irrelevant to the actual raw, naked, unadorned life. Whoa! Like you're lit. Not with a bravo ego, but from that which is love, giving, not in a giving that also has a taking. No opposite, no cause. What's that old spiritual about? You don't need a ticket, you just get on board. I mean, that is true. The something that's holding itself apart, the thought, the idea, the belief that's holding itself apart, thinks it needs a ticket. There's no, and we go around finding, well, that ticket didn't work, that song didn't work. I'm gonna go get this ticket. I mean, oh, been there, done that. Um, yeah, I think I'm going to read this from Meister Eckhart, and then we'll take a little break before guided meditation. It's a matter of identification. How one is identified. If there is anyone to be identified, what is I without identified thought? What is it? Directly. Meister Eckhart. My love. Oh, God. Breaking through things. God is in everything that is, shining forth with a radiance that enlightens every darkness. But to see this, you must first break through things and allow God to take form as you. How do you do this? Let go of your desire to make it happen and seek that still desert. He's using the word desert, a still desert, where you'll find that everything is in God and everything, including you, is God. What about you? At the heart of all that is there is one love in one God. All that God works in creatures and in God's own divinity derives from this oneness. And on account of this, God is God. Is God, is God, is you, right? What about you? The glory of your soul lies in this oneness and not in all that you might still do or fail to do. Practice dwelling as God's love, and the rest will follow. Allow nature to take its course. Give the mind to the heart and allow it to take its course. When you do, you'll come to see that you, in your nothingness, are everything. For God pours into your emptiness all that is noblest and purest and highest. There God shines. Knowledge is great, but desire is greater because it leans into what it does not know. But God is beyond all that knowledge can grasp or desire can want. Where knowing and desiring end, there is darkness, and there God shines, within and as you and all that is. Breaking through things. In other words, breaking through identifications. But I just got a funny little vision of like putting on like a superhero suit, you know, like identification buster. Works for me.